Hi, Caroline.
Hi, Gabrielle.
How you doing?
Fine.
Good.
Enjoying the shops opening.
Yeah. So right now you're in Germany and I'm in France, and we've just been in London, and we have just published our Retail Pandemic Playbook. And we've gotten some really interesting and great feedback about it, which is terrific. And so we thought we'd just have a quick conversation with each other. First of all, to say hi and to talk about and answer some of the questions that have come up. So when we think about, okay, it's going to open up again, one of the questions we got was saying, okay, great, the world will go back to normal in terms of it'll go down to 1 meter and then the social distancing won't be fine. But then what if we come back? What does wave two look like? So wave two, I need to prepare. I own a brand, or I'm a retailer and I have just been caught out and now life is getting back to normal. Maybe I'm lulled into a false sense of, shoo, okay, we got through that one. But wave two hits. So what should brands be doing right now? What are your thoughts? Do you think there will be a wave two, and what do you think it might look like?
I mean, I'm not a scientist, but reading the scientist's
That
opinion.
never stopped anybody from giving an opinion on COVID. So
Exactly. It seems highly likely there will be a wave two in the autumn. And I think the one thing that we've all learned from this one is it is very possible that either the entire country or a region or even a small part of a region will suddenly need to close down again. It's actually happened in Germany this week. One little town, or not so little town, has had to effectively go back into quarantine because the slaughterhouse had a massive wave of infections. All the schools are closed again, all the shops are closed again. So this can happen. And I think as a brand or as a retailer, you just need to be really prepared to be agile and to have the measures in place that if something like this happens to your store in, say, Newcastle or whatever, you need to be able to just cordon that off and make sure that you are able to agilely react to that and say, this store is now closed, I'm transferring my staff, or I'm not transferring my staff, or I'm furloughing my staff in this particular area, I'm transferring my inventory, whatever needs to be done to be able to react to another outbreak, whether that's a regional, local, or even, God forbid, another national outbreak. And to just be prepared to have the right actions in place to not be caught out on the back foot as in the first time around when nobody had ever done this before. Right. So I think everybody needs a contingency plan to say, if this happens, these are the 10, 20, 50 things I need to go through, like a checklist almost, to say, have I done X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. And I also think that what retailers and brands need to do immediately is find a way, no matter how low tech or high tech, to get as many people on the database as is possible. Because when they realize it, they can't communicate with their customers by talking to them on the shop floor, by having them come in, and because there is no more footfall there. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, we need to communicate with people, and either we spend a lot in direct response advertising or brand advertising, in newspapers and stuff, which is possible because ad rates have come down, but it's more like, okay, we've got our database and here's who we need to communicate to. And if we haven't been doing a good job of really getting people onto our database, whether they're customers or prospects, then we are really on the back foot. So data capture and getting your customers engaged in a dialogue with you has been a priority for a long time, but I have not seen stores really push strong KPIs against it. Some do, but a lot still don't. And now, if you don't have visibility of who your customers are and even prospects, like I said, when the stores close again, you have no way of reaching out to them. And I think that that's what some people have been really burned by. So even if it's, okay, so you're open again, get the name of every single person who comes through that door. Say to them, can we get your phone number or your email? Make sure it's GDPR compliant, so the opt-in is good, but it's much easier now to have that conversation. And I think people will be very open to giving you their information if they want to hear from you. So now is a massive opportunity to really increase the number of contacts you have on your database, so that when stores close again, you have more people to reach out to and a better line of communication.
Absolutely. And it's interesting about taking people's contact information. Because in Germany, it's now the law that when you enter a restaurant, you have to provide everybody's contact information, the table you were sitting at, the time you were sitting at that table, so that if an infected person turns out to have been in that restaurant, the official contact tracers from the local health office will be able to track you down and inform you that you've been in the vicinity of someone else with, so it's a bit like the app, but it's in a very manual way. And because it's the law, you have to give your personal information, you have to give your contact details. So suddenly, in a country that is absolutely obsessed with privacy and GDPR, that's all gone out of the window in the face of an infection or a pandemic. So I think people generally will be much more open to providing, assuming that you can assure them that you're not using it for any spam, providing you with their information, because it's in their best interest to do that.
So Caroline, how are they taking names on a clipboard?
On a piece of paper, yes. Every table has a clipboard on it. You have to write down your name, the names of the people with you, and everybody's phone number, including your children, by the way. Because if there is another infection in that area or in that restaurant, they will track you down to say you need to isolate yourself.
And so I suppose this law says, by the way, this whole thing is exempt from any GDPR prosecution.
Presumably, yes.
Interesting. Well, that takes us into a whole different area, but yeah, no. So is there anything else you wanted to talk about today before we pick up some more of the questions and feedback that we've gotten next time we talk?
Well, I think it's an interesting time, and we'll just have to see how things develop. But I think overall, you know, this is going to be a very challenging 12 months, 24 months for the vast majority of retailers in all countries. And the ones that will win are the ones who are agile, innovative, and able to just take things on as they come up and as they arise.
We will wait and see.
Great. We'll come back to you shortly.
Take care, Caroline. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.